Yes, people. Welcome back to your daily transfer show. As you can see, I am being joined by Fozzie over on his channel. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, mate. We're gonna chop everything up to do with the Reds, all the latest transfer news everyone wants to get involved in. So make sure everyone who's in the chat be respectful and hope you enjoy your Tuesday so far. Make sure you smash the likes and you are all subscribing to my channel and not only his channel. His channel will be in the link down below. See, let's start the show, bro. Hope you're well, Fozzie, mate. And how you been, bro? I wanted, just it's always good to check up on people.
I've been all right, bro. A bit tired, innit? Doing the YouTube and working at the same time. So I thought I'd take 2 days off and come back today. Done a stream for an hour and a bit, I think 20 minutes earlier, around 11 o'clock. It was a good stream, just chatting to the chat as I always do. And, things are going all right with Liverpool, aren't they? So it's July, and, what they said in July is going to happen. So we're just waiting. We're biting our nails, just waiting what's going on. But yeah, everything's good, bro. Appreciate you for putting me on our channel again. You got a wicked channel. Almost at 2,000 already, bro. That is amazing. That shows the hard work you put in, man.
Yeah, I feel like I just try and give back to my community, people that show me love and that try and support my channel. I always like to give back, and you're one of these guys that's been in this space for a certain time, so that's why I respect you on a really good level, and that's why I wanted to work you on the show. And obviously I remember you came on my channel a couple of weeks back as well, was chatting at the current time about the transfers. I wanted to get your opinion on, from when we last spoke about 2-3 weeks ago to now, what's your overall thoughts on our window so far, mate?
Listen, I'm not that type of fan that criticizes windows like this. You just can't criticize it, because the most impressive thing about our transfer window this season is, like, Trent left and straight away we got it right back in. We didn't waste any time. You know what I mean? We didn't dwell on it. We didn't cry about it. It's just like that time when we lost the Champions League when Karius started having a maniac moment in the Real Madrid. A few days later, we were crying, of course, and then bam, we saw Fabinho coming through the door. The players we don't normally sign. You know what I mean? That was a start. That was a catalyst for what's to come after that as well. And this is what's happened again. And then we signed Florian Wirtz, one of the best youngsters in the world, the best German player in the last 2 seasons. So that's a statement as it is, beating off the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Man City on top of that as well. And then last time we was here, we only signed those two players. I think we just about signed Wirtz, as I remember. Now we've got Kirkez on top of that as well. So both of the fullbacks areas that we needed, filling in, has been done. And 3 players through the door in the early stages of the transfer window, and the preseason hasn't even started yet. Listen, it looks like we want to retain our Premier League title with intent. I mean, we're gonna go for it again and get 21. So yeah, everything so far so good, bro. But we're still missing a few players. Obviously, I still think we need a couple of more signings.
Yeah, I feel like so far, again, my thoughts on the overall window is it's been perfect so far. In the sense of, because it looks like we are going to bring in the other reinforcements that we need in the centre back and the striker. And obviously, no one really thought that we would sign Florian Wirtz. So for me, Florian Wirtz is the icing on the cake, because we all thought striker, centre back, 2 full-backs, and hopefully another player in there. No one thought the calibre of Florian Wirtz. Most of us probably thought maybe we might get a Simons, a Cherky. So for me, this window is already an 8.5. Bringing a centre-back in Mark Guehi, which I think is actually an incredible piece of business if Liverpool get over the line. Yeah. And obviously, with the likes of Alexander Isak, Osimhen being linked with, this is what we want to see. We want to be linked with the best players in the world. We want to have a chance of getting the best players in the world, because when you win the league, you're the best team in the country. So we have a right to go and get the best players, not only in the league, but in the world. And no one should be criticising that. And that's why I think these next couple of weeks are going to be really interesting with the outgoings and the incomings. It's an exciting time. I like this unknown. You know, we've had a few unknowns with Liverpool,
Yeah.
where it's been like a scary unknown and things like that. But this unknown with this transfer window is actually intriguing, and it's exciting as to see what could actually end up happening.
Just spot on,
I
bro.
mean,
Yeah, listen, going for Guehi says enough for me. Like, you know what I mean, the quality of players. I don't know what it's some people saying like it's still for a team that's champions. We haven't gone for like world elite players. I said, right.
world elite.
What's Kirkes, what's Frimpong, and what's Isak that we're going for, and Guehi at the same time. I don't understand what players people apart from Messi and Ronaldo at their best. There's nothing after that. So I don't understand what people are looking for. We are going for the best players possible that we can get, and not only that, the most important thing is, bro, like we're getting players that fit the system that we have in place. So, like there's no disruptions in regards to how we move forward next season. It's just going to improve on last season. So I don't think people look at it from that point of view. They just want the players that's high wages and world class level or something like that. But the average age has gone down. It's gone down like to 23, I think 24, 23.
Yeah.
So each time we're buying players, the average age is going down, which means like these players that's coming in is for the current and for the future. So the 6 years from now, we should be doing some damage in the Premier League. And listen, like you just said about the unknown. Like every day I wake up now, I don't know what Liverpool is getting up to in business terms. You know what I'm saying? And it's I love it. It puts me in my toes. Like these kind of moments is when you used to admire rivals. Remember, the rivals used to do this to us all the time, and we have to just wait around and say, "Shit, they bought this player. We can't go for that player because they're going for him." Now we go for any player. We don't care. And the unknown is the best place to be, especially when you're champions. When you have that aura about you as champions, everybody wants to join you, and we've seen it from experience in the past as well. So yeah, man, more to like you just said. There's going to be players going. Let's just be honest about it. You can't have a squad that's overstacked in the Premier League. That's just not right on them. It's not right on the football club, and this is the perfect opportunity to sell those players that need to leave the football club for prices that you could demand, if you know what I mean. Because normally we sell players for 5-6 million. What's that in the modern day? Nothing. Now you could sell like majority of the players for 40, 30, 50 million that would cost you around 10 million before. So yeah, I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it, man.
One interesting point that you just said, I think Arsenal's record signing when they've sold players is actually Oxlade-Chamberlain still.
Wow.
That's actually mad. For the money they've spent.
Mhm.
The highest they've ever recuperated is like 30 to 35 million. I wanted to get your opinion on the Alexander Isak stuff, because everyone's got very much mixed opinions in terms of whether it will happen, whether they want someone else. I know there's a couple of people in our chat that prefer the likes of Victor Osimhen, for an example, or they think Isak is way too much money. We can maybe spend half of that on a striker and use the rest to go and get someone else. So I wanted to get your honest opinions on Isak, because according to, there are rumors that he does want to leave, and it seems like every day more and more Isak stuff is coming out.
With Isak, guys, like if you think about Isak, it's up to him as a player what he wants to do. I'm not forcing him. Liverpool is not forcing him. Liverpool is only saying we're showing interest, right? That's what we're showing. So, in regards to like Isak, it's up to the player if he wants to move. Like what he needs to do as a player. I'll come to Osimhen and obviously Ekitike after that as well. What he needs to do as a player, from his point of view, is if he wants to leave Newcastle, he needs to sit with them and ask them simple questions. I'm going to be 26 in a few months. That's going to be reaching my prime as a player. I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. Can you provide me at this stage of my career those trophies? And Newcastle will obviously say no. So there's a club He's saying out there to just won the Premier League on the on the route winning the Premier League again, and plus probably win the Champions League at the same time as well. That want me. So you know what I mean? That's where I want to go now, because he's already asked them that questions. Can you provide me this? And they can't. All they could provide them is wages, and he doesn't want wages. So this is what I want to see. What I want to see from Isak. Is he a footballer, or is he a money grabber? So we will find out in due course, like what his ambition as a player is. If he stays at Newcastle for money reasons, we dodge a bullet. We're fine. We'll go somewhere else and get someone else. And then now this is where the Ekatike and Osman comes in. Osman is a proven striker. He's played in Italy, scored a lot of goals. Played in Turkey, scored a lot of goals. Ekatike, the difference with him is he's an up-and-coming youngster. We don't want to go down the route of up-and-coming youngsters anymore. We want ready-made players that's kind of come into the team and kick off straight away. We've tried the up-and-coming youngsters, Darwin Núñez for 80 million, 85 million. Didn't work. I don't want to nurture players anymore. We're at that stage. In order for you to stay at the top, you got to buy players that can keep you at the top. Otherwise, you're going to go back down again. And we're going to keep hoping on Ekatike to score goals. If we buy both, I don't mind it. But out of the two, I say Osman, if you ask me, because he's a proven striker. I'm not a biggest fan of Osman, but his record says it for himself, as a player, the amount of goals that he's got. But I hope I cleared everything in regards to Isak and Osman and Ekatike.
For me, Isak is the dream choice.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I would like a Victor Osimhen, again, he's already in his prime and all that sort of stuff, but he's going to cost half of the price of an Isak. And with that money, do you think we could that other part of the money? For me, I don't know if it's fantasy land.
You could play a smart way in this, bro. You could play if Liverpool, if they're asking for 130 million for Isak, why can't you give them Jota and then cut down the money? You get what I'm saying?
Apparently, they want Harvey Elliott.
Oh, Harvey Elliott. I'm not like the other guys. I know Uncle Rods wants him to stay. Some people want Harvey Elliott to stay and all that stuff. I don't mind if he stays or goes. But from what I've heard from the player's mouth, he wants first team football on a consistent basis because the World Cup is coming up, obviously, next season. So if the player decides to leave, that's a good swap deal, isn't it? 40 million, you cut it down from 130 million, you're sorted. That's what is it, 90 million, right, for Isak? So you're sorted. What's wrong? Now you're not losing a lot of money. You're getting rid of a player that's not even part of the first team. So you haven't lost much. So you got to be smart in this. There's Jota as well. I think Newcastle want. That's another player on top. Yeah, I mean, you could even do two players with one. So and even cut the money even more than that. So you got to play smart in this thing, bro. Like there is a way to get that money reduced, in a way of getting rid of players to Newcastle to get the other player going the other way.
100%. I think Liverpool will need to make a decision very soon because I just don't want this to potentially drag on to the end, near enough to the end of the month because pre-season is literally a week on Sunday. Funny enough, the lads are all back actually training in 6 days, and obviously a week later we've got Preston. I'm not saying we need to get a striker and ready for Preston or anything, but it would be nice to have. We literally what was the priority for this summer, a striker to be in for pre-season.
Yeah,
because I don't know what it is. I've got a really I hope I'm wrong. I don't know if it's just a feeling.
Yeah,
but I think we're struggling to get rid of Darwin Núñez.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's necessarily trying to get bias for him. Liverpool's asking price is way too much because they're asking for nearly that 60-70 million pound mark, and then you've got clubs like Napoli who only want to pay 40 million, and they're not going to try and make way of the 30 million gap. So we need the striker situation to be a lot more clear in the next minimum 2 to 3 weeks. If Liverpool are to get Alexander Isak, we will need some big concrete stuff within the next 2-3 weeks because clubs will be back from players will be back from the holidays, so they'll be getting ready to get back ready for the season, and Newcastle will want time to replace Isak ultimately.
Yeah.
It's not like they're replacing some bang average guy, so they would want time to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've had a bit of a struggle lately with the likes of buying players, your Elangers, your
Yeah.
Trashfords. But I believe today all the PSR kind of resets
Mm-hmm.
for them. So who knows now? The whole situation around Isak probably will change now because Newcastle probably will be able to spend the money they'd want to spend. So I've compared the Isak situation to our Coutinho
Yeah.
in the sense of yes, you don't want to let him go, but in the longer run, financially, and you can actually improve the overall part of your squad from selling just one player. Like we improved, we've got the likes of Fabinho, Allison, Virgil. Newcastle could do the same, not just replace and bring in a striker. They probably can bring in that right winger that they want,
Mm-hmm.
another left winger, another goalkeeper they'd like to bring in. Do you know what I mean? So I've compared it to the Coutinho moment at times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried about the striker department maybe potentially going on too long, or are you still quite calm and relaxed on the
I'm calm, bro.
situation?
I'm calm with the situation, bro. I've got listen. The way we acted this window, it shows we're intent on bringing in players at the right time, and they want them to be there in the preseason as well. You know what I mean? So this is why we didn't buy anyone last summer because everything was late. Done. Everything was late, so we couldn't really bring in players in time for the preseason. And majority of the first teamers were away international football. They came back. They only played one preseason game, hence why the season didn't go, to the Champions League winning and all that stuff. So now they've learned. You know what I love about our football club and Arnie Slot, bro? They learn from the previous season. They know what to do now. I don't think we're going to go in the last day of the transfer window getting players in at that time. I think it's going to be all early done. They're going to go for the striker that they want as soon as possible. If Isak doesn't work out, it's okay. We go to the next option. We've got three options now, like you just put in there: Ekatike, Osman, and Isak. If one doesn't work, we'll go to the next option. If the other option doesn't work, we'll go to the other option. It's better having options than nothing, if you know what I mean. So at the early stages what to do. So this is what I like about what we're doing at the moment. And like you said, preseason hasn't even started yet, and we've signed 3 players already. It shows the intent we're at the moment, and how we're working off the pitch as well as obviously on the pitch as well. So yeah, listen, I'm not worried, man. I'm loving what I've seen of Liverpool this season. So this summer, so this obviously summer, and the way even the chairman was talking, Tom Warner, like exciting times ahead. He's saying like with signings and all that stuff. So they have a plan in place to get players as early as possible. I mean, and listen, you get a striker through the door and a centre back, and you're done for the summer. Really, you're just gonna have to like sell players, get players in for squad depth after that. So you're sorted. There's 2 players
Yeah,
missing.
100%. I mean, for me, I've told the chat all summer about just stay calm. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't trust. I get last summer, but this summer is completely different. We've just won the league. There's nothing to be quote unquote negative about, which people like to do. We've had an unbelievable start to the window, making all those 3 big signings that massively improve our squad. And all we need now is that centre back, which looks like the clarity is getting clearer on Martin Guehi, which we'll speak about that very soon. That's a cracking piece of business. And obviously the striker. I feel like the striker situation is very much like a domino effect. A lot of clubs are kind of waiting for who's going to make that first move.
Yeah.
In the sense of for an Osherman, Ekatike, Isak, your Jokereses, for example. So I'm not too concerned in that sense. It's not. If you really look at the clubs that really need the strikers, like your Arsenal still need one, United, for example, Arsenal. The only clubs that have really kind of made striker signings is ultimately Chelsea.
Yeah.
And you look at the 2 strikers that they've made in Liam Delap and João Pedro, a lot of people won't even take them anyway.
Hell no.
So there's no real reason. It's not like they've signed a Jokeres or an STK, one of our targets. If anything, now they've signed like the dead rubber strikers in some sense that we don't want. It gives us a more of a chance of a free run at Hugo Ekitike's now. Your Isaks, because I believe Arsenal probably, it looks like now it's literally Sesko or Jokeres. For us, it's looking like Ekitike, Osherman, or Isak. So, and I know our options are far better, and we looks like we're the clear favourites for one of the three anyway. So, in that sense, I think Liverpool right now it's just all about the outgoings. Do you know what I mean? So, Liverpool aren't going to have Darwin Núñez, etc., all on their books and bringing a striker. That's why they want the clarity and that confirmation of getting rid of these players before bringing in a striker and the centre back. Now you've seen Joel Kwanzaa be sold and announced and all that. I believe Liverpool are going to really push for Mark Guehi now, and I think the exact same will follow for Isak, Hecate, or Osherman. I mean, the pattern has literally been very clear, as you can see, throughout so far in the window. So, absolutely amazing so far from Liverpool in the sense of the window so far.
Oh, 100%. 100%. As I said many times, all we can do to the squad that we already have is improve it. I mean, and don't forget that this team was head and shoulders above everybody else last season in the Premier League. So if you're improving on top of that, that means like you're gonna wipe out the league so early. You could like by February you could be putting your feet up, just concentrate on the Champions League. You know what I mean? So that's the thing we could look forward to, guys. I mean, you look at Man City yesterday, listen to a Saudi Arabian club. People were telling me Man City are back, man. They're beating everybody in FIFA or whatever World Club Cup. And then you lose to a Saudi Arabian team for the first time. I can't remember any English team losing to a Saudi Arabian team before. And not only losing like by the goals, they actually deserve to lose that game. That team actually, played better than them. So yeah, I think we're head and shoulders above everybody else. I think next season the league is ours again. It's just outside that, like the Champions League is what I'm looking at as well. Probably doing a treble as well. Is there a possibility we're doing a treble next season? We'll go for it. I mean, get the FA Cup and the Premier League and the Champions League as well. So, like when your rivals are panicking around you, it's a beautiful thing, bro. They're all crying. You see it on social media. You see me like replying to Igal and all these guys on their thing. We're having fun, mate. We're having fun with them. You know what I mean? And they're panicking, bro. They're panicking. They know who's boss now. They know it. They know it, man.
One thing I'm really excited for next season in terms of the incomings and everything is to actually see an improvement on his slots, because a lot of people spoke about improving the squad and stuff. I think Arne Slot's going to get better as a manager.
Yes.
He's only been a manager for 7 years. People forget this. People do the whole super duper Mick thing. Arne Slot's only been a manager for 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, 8. This will be his 8th year now. And people think Slot was flawless last season. There was times where he, it was his fault that, with the substitutions. I would argue the PSG was probably very much on Slot in the way he approached the game.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how he's going to adapt, because it just seems like he's just getting better and better and adapting, not only to the way he starts games, when he makes the in-game tactics. So the fact that I'm really intrigued also what he does with his own crop of players, because these are his own players now.
Yeah.
Your Frimpongs, your Kirkezes, your Verts. So if he can do all that with a previous manager's players, what's he going to be like with his own players?
Yeah.
So absolutely exciting times all on off the pitch with Liverpool, and hopefully, we can continue to act like this. And I think it was very interesting what Tom Werner said the other day about it's about being ruthless. We actually want to win trophies.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the ambition. That's what we want to hear as fans.
Exactly.
I've always wanted our chairman, our owners to come out and speak, because we are the customers.
100%.
So ultimately, you should be coming out when we say comments and feedback. You should be coming out and addressing these things. So absolutely exciting times. A question though, out of the three of Osherman, Katiki, Isak, do you think it'd be one of those three, or do you think it would be sometime, or do you think it could be a surprise?
Listen, there's one I want. I already told you guys before when I was in here. It's the one at Atletico Madrid.
Alvarez, yeah.
I'll do anything to get that player. And I mean, yeah, but I think that these three, the way things are looking at the moment, these are the three that keep on coming back every single time. So it's got to be one of them. I prefer obviously Isak out of the three. If it doesn't happen and these other two, I'm not gonna listen. We're Liverpool fans, aren't we? We give everyone a chance at the end of the day. If they get
Yeah,
them,
100%.
obviously we're gonna support them and all that stuff. Yeah, but there's something you just said about Arne Slot getting better. Imagine like you've just come to a club, you didn't really set up anything. Your family hasn't even moved into England either, still in Holland, and you're just setting up. That's what he done last season. He was just setting up the foundation. Yeah, didn't have a preseason with the team. Now the ideas you could expand on what you've done last season. Last season wasn't the best football we've ever seen in our lives. Let's be honest there. I didn't enjoy us like all the time. We didn't play great football, but the foundation is already there, and you won the league on top of that as well. So this season, now you've got the ideas and all the different formations you're gonna feed these players. It's gonna be frightening, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm looking like at that what you just said. He hasn't even set up yet. This is the season he's gonna start setting up. You know what I mean, and implementing ideas within ideas within ideas with his coaching staff, with his players, and all that stuff. So you could only get better, bro. You could only get better in regards to that. And I'm expecting us to play attractive football compared to last season. You know what I mean? Last season wasn't the passing football we expected. Arne Slot. We kept on hearing Arne Slot formation and Arne Slot position and all that stuff. We didn't really see it. But this season, with the players that we already have and the players we got in, we're going to see different type of football, exciting football, dominance in games. Teams fearing you when you come to their stadium and they're coming to Anfield. So you got all that around, that aura about you as a football team next season, especially being champions on top of that. Guys, man, listen, the world's our oyster. Forget about, Premier League and Champions League. I think the ruling the world is, that's what I'm going for. You know what I mean? I want to take over the whole world, man, not just the Premier League and the European football, man. And yeah, I'm expecting big things next season. But as I said about the three strikers, these are the only three that I know, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I think a couple of things on what you mentioned is one thing I do like about Slots, and I've seen it in the players. The players are not as emotional when they was under Jurgen Klopp when it was in title races, Champions League runs. Slots got that mentality of, yes, my football, probably wasn't as attractive as previous, but if it gets us over the line, I don't really care, because I've seen managers of other clubs play attractive, beautiful, nice football, and what did they win at the end? Nothing.
Yeah.
We'll celebrate at the end, like Arne Slot says. He doesn't get emotional as Jurgen did, used to do all the fist bumps in the crowds, that sort of stuff. I like that about Slot, because it stays him and the players well drilled to get over the line, not to get emotional with the fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's something that I don't think a lot of people have mentioned last season, where Slot was just like, we'll just take each game at a time. There's no rush, because I know full well if my team performs at the best of their ability, we're getting over the line. And he's shown that he had the belief in the players. So it's a really exciting time with Arne Slot, and I'm really intrigued to see what he can do with his own style of players. And to back on the three striker points is, I think out the three, I think Ekitike is probably the most likely. Isak's the dream. Oshiman, the only reason why I don't think we'll go for someone like an Oshiman is not because he's a bad player or anything, is I don't know about his wage demands and stuff like that. And the overall package.
I don't
the
think
overall
wages matter with
package.
him. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I don't think wages matters with him. I don't think so. If a club like Liverpool is chasing you, I don't think wages is a factor. You know what I mean? You don't get Liverpool chasing you. You know what I mean? So I don't see any other big club chasing him as a striker. So he either end up in Turkey or back in Italy playing for those teams that's there. So if a team like Liverpool's chasing you, offering you Premier League, probably a win and a Champions League win, you ain't gonna talk about wages, are you? You're gonna talk about what am I gonna win? You know what I mean? So what do I choose to win? That's where you're at, if you know what I mean. And that's what I mean about Osman. I don't think I think people are putting too much onto that wages thing. He's not in a place. If Liverpool's chasing you, it's not about wages, bro. It should not. You've done nothing. You've done nothing for Liverpool yet. So why are you asking for a lot of wages? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, the guy. I think people are blowing that way over the top, in my opinion. I think if Liverpool are chasing him, I think it will come straight away. I don't think. I think it'll be like more like a Frimpong thing. Where do I sign? You know what I mean? Get me there. Don't talk about money. I want to get me there straight away. It would say. That's what I think, bro.
Yeah. By the way, people, we've got over 60 people in the building, 70 people in the building now. Make sure you're getting these likes up. Get subscribing to the channel. Get subscribing to Fozzie's channel as well. Mods, can you put the link to his channel in the live chat, please? So everyone that's in the live chat, make sure you're going to drop a subscription on his channel. I think you're on the road to 3K now.
Yeah, man. Should be more than that actually, but everybody's slow, so it's okay. I enjoy it. Yeah, on the road to 3K. I've got about 16 to go. It's fine, bro.
Let's try and get him to 3K as fast as possible, people. It's always good to give back to free content creators. So make sure you're doing all those things, smashing the likes and subscribing. So Isak, as the actual deal, do you buy into how it will get done in terms of Isak would have to push for the move, in a sense of, do you think Newcastle will budge if Liverpool actually do come in with a decent enough offer where it's like, we might actually probably have to think about this?
Yeah, listen, it's all about the money at the end of the day. That's one thing, but Newcastle don't need money, bro. You know what I mean? They're the richest club in the world. If you guys don't know that, you know what I mean? I'm from Saudi Arabia myself, you know what I mean? So that's the richest Arab country in the Middle East. So it's not UAE or anything like that. It's Saudi Arabia. They are the bosses, you know what I mean? And the Newcastle don't need money, but like I said, it depends on the player, bro. It's all about the player pushing the move, and this is how it's looking at the moment. You can see it everywhere when we're looking at Twitter and other social medias. It's him saying he wants to leave, or there's nothing coming out from his direction. Because if a player doesn't say anything, that's still a hope a player is leaving. Do you know what I mean? Because if in normal circumstances, if a player is happy at a football club, he will say, "I'm staying." Right? We've seen that a lot of times at other clubs and our club as well. So yeah, it's just that it's all down to the player. I don't think what Liverpool offers will ever matter to Newcastle, because they could buy us over 5 times if they wanted to. You know what I mean? It's a football club, so that doesn't really count. Yeah, it's just down to the player, bro. I'm just waiting for the player to say, "I want to leave," from his mouth to join Liverpool, and then it'll make everything easy after that, bro.
Yeah, because I think for me, I've been consistent with the Alexander Isak saga. I think Liverpool have shown they've got money to spend. Liverpool has shown that they are willing to actually get the player, but it's about getting him. If Alexander Isak goes to Newcastle and says, like, "Yo, look, the offer from Liverpool is just too hard for me to turn down. Look, I've come here. I've got you Champions League football twice. I've won you a trophy, your first trophy in 70 years. So I think it's going to be intriguing to see how this develops. People in the chat saying about Isak was in the kit launch. That means absolutely zilch.
Nothing.
Well, of course he's going to be in a kit launch, because right now he's currently your player, so he's obviously going to be in a kit launch.
Oh, Henderson was, the season he left as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't buy into any of that sort of rubbish. For me, about the price, it's difficult to say how much he would cost, because it's gone from Newcastle saying, "Yeah, we don't want to sell," to 200 million, to, well, maybe if Isak wants to go, we might accept. So I feel like there's a lot of dominoes affecting here. I think for us to get him just straight up, I think we'd have to pay minimum 130. Whether people think that's worth it for a player of Isak's quality or not. For me, if someone said to me, "Look, you got Isak for 130, I'm doing it." Because this is a guy that will take us. We talk about game-changing signings. This is a change in signing. Mohamed Salah and Alexander Isak alone will be able to outscore most teams.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Forget that we also have quality players all over the pitch. So for me, in terms of the actual deal, it's worth it because you got to think about it. We made 80 million from the Champions League, finishing first. If we sign Alexander Isak, we're going to be favourites for one of those. You get around 80 plus million again for the league. All the sponsorship deals, the shirt sales. In terms of making the money back, it's not like it's going to be difficult.
Nope.
And we are going to be selling players again this summer.
Yep.
So in terms of actually balancing the books, right now we've only actually spent about 140 million, if you include the sales. And Darwin Núñez, etc., will all be sold. So that number will go straight back down.
Yeah.
And then if we sign Isak, it will balance it back up to about 150. So that's why, in terms of the spending, etc., no one should be worried, because the size of the club, the size of Liverpool Football Club, every year they should be spending at least 100 million. Doesn't matter if they win the quadruple or not. Because why do you think teams stay on top? Because they always improve in their squads. Not necessarily starting 11, but bring off players that can do a job off the bench. So, for me, we have got a chance of signing him if he does go to Newcastle and play his part, because he cannot just sit back and be like, yeah, this is going to be a sweet drive. He would have to play a part in coming to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But you don't really see transfer requests these kind of days anymore.
Well, players run down their contract nowadays, don't they? That's how it's gone nowadays. They're running down contracts and that stuff. If you know what I mean, that's what they look for.
The thing is, he's got 3 years left though, so I don't think he'll be running his contract down for 3 years. I feel like Newcastle are in a situation where they'll probably more likely to spend it next summer, because you'll have 2 years left, and there'll be a lot more clubs who'll probably be in for him. You'll have your Barcelonas, etc., who'll be in for Isak, and who knows, Isak. Who knows? It could be Isak's agent.
You know what it is, bro? Like, I don't think I know what you're saying, like about running down contracts and that stuff. In the modern day football, it's player power, isn't it? It's always been player. Since the Bosman ruling, it's always been a player power. It's nothing to do with clubs, what they want to do or anything like that. If a player wants to leave, we know from experience, innit, mate? You can't stop that. So if transfer or no transfer, it's still the same thing. So with Isak, like I said, it's up to him what he wants to do in his next step in his career. He's going to be 26 very soon, going to reach the prime of his powers after that, and let's see where he goes from there. Because to me, like, when you got players at Liverpool Football Club that's going to supply you as much as they can, and I don't think people even look at it from a point of view of like the formation will be setting up and the responsibility of every player in that team as well. So look at it this way: last season, the difficult games we had, they were doubling up on who? Mo Salah. Remember? We lost or draw those games, if you know what I mean. Majority draws. This time, like, we've got Wirtz, we've got Gakpo on the left, we've got Salah, we've got obviously McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and whoever else is coming. You got all that busy area in midfield and attack. So the concentrations level of the opposition would be less on single players. It's going to be scattered all around, which means open up spaces for other players. I mean, and then what happens when you open up spaces for other players? They get more chances on goal. When they got more chances on goal, which means the goals will double up compared to last season. So this is what I keep telling people. Like you said, no matter how much Isak costs, go and get that player, because that money will be recouped no matter what. As long as you win the trophies, that money are coming back. Even without the trophies, Liverpool will always get money back coming in anyway. So, like I said, mate, you've got all that supply for you as a striker. How can you say no to that? Like, think about it, man.
Exactly. And when our chairman's coming out and saying along sort of lines of, we're happy to take the risk, for example, on the money that we spent on Florian Wirtz, it's proven that they're actually willing to do this, because a lot of people previously thought in the past, like, oh, they always play it safe, stingy, etc. They're actually willing to take that possible risk because they know full well what would happen if it pays off. Do you know what I mean? And I think the same could be for Alexander Isak. I just think, for me, Newcastle, if we go to them with a decent fee plus Harvey Elliott, that could be an interesting one. Diogo Jota could be a player that could potentially be named. But I'm not one of these people where they're like, oh, I don't think we should put Harvey Elliott in the deal, for example. And I'm like, he's barely played all season. Why shouldn't we be selling him for 40, 50 million like David Ornstein said this morning? Like, we all know Harvey Elliott.
With the Harvey Elliott stuff, I really don't like the way people are going around that. Sorry to interrupt, bro. I don't get it. I really don't get the Harvey Elliott thing. Like, it's understandable if the player is playing every game. I mean, and we support him and we're asking the questions. Why is he going to be getting? Why are they getting rid of him and all that stuff? But he doesn't play every game. I don't even remember the last time he actually started in the Premier League. That's how far, you know what I mean, the guy is in the pecking order.
I think it was Brighton away.
Look at that.
And that wasn't the second last game of the season.
And did we care in that game?
No.
We won the league, by
our fans were literally celebrating in the way end when we lost.
There you go, bro. So I don't understand, like, you know what I mean? I love everybody. Listen, I love the sentimentality of our football club in regards to the fan base. Always thinking about players who love the football club back. I love that. But if you have to choose between the trophies or a player, which one would you choose? That's the question you have to ask yourself as a fan. I mean, I'll choose trophies all day long. I'm Liverpool Football Club. I'm Shankly. Shankly built me to win trophies and nothing else. Shankly and Paisley got rid of a lot of heroes at Liverpool Football Club and replaced them with other players, and the winning was still going. That's what I want to do at my football club. I'm not going to sit here, sacrifice trophies for players that's not going to make it at Liverpool continuously. I'm sorry, man. I'm even getting fans that saying Darwin Núñez should not be leaving. Like, what are you watching? Like
I'm seeing like one last dance and all that. Like, are you going to be saying one last dance in the opening game against Bournemouth when he misses an open goal?
The guy he does not want to play for Liverpool. He done a blue and white balloon in his birthday, and he finally had a haircut. Too late to have a haircut now, bro. Should have a haircut when you first started, mate. Maybe people will take you seriously then. I mean, but yeah, man, it's just, yeah, bro. Like, we got to be serious. Like, are we interested in winning things, or are we interested in, cult heroes and just celebrating play? I think, you know what it is? I think the fan base have their memories stuck on that, because they've been watching that type of football for years. If you know what I mean, bro. Not winning, just, sentimentality on players. I think, like, we need to get away from that now. Go back to being ruthless. Go back to be the best club that you can be in the world of football. That's what we need to go back to, in my opinion, bro. I don't care about Darwin Núñez and these guys. I'm a Liverpool fan. Players come and go. That's how it is.
Facts.
That's life.
Facts. Like, Harvey Elliott's even come out and said himself he needs to do what's best for his career.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of, if this was Jurgen Klopp, I'll maybe hear a bit more because he actually had game time under Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. But this is a player that's had no game time. I think we all know Harvey Elliott's a very decent enough footballer. He'll still have a very good career. He's probably completed his main objective in his career, gone to my boyhood club and won trophies. So he's already happy with that point of view. Now for him is about getting game time to go and do it on another level, go to England World Cups, Euros, and try and win trophies on that stage. So if you're getting offered 40 million plus for a player that's not played all season, you're taking it. It's not like we're being offered 10 mil, 5 mil, guys. We're being offered 40 million. We'll talk about we want to recuperate money to go and get these big plays and Isaks. Well, funny enough, Harvey, and it's going to have to be one of those names.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't.
He wants to leave, innit? Let's be honest. He said it. He wants to go. Consider his future means, like, he wants to get first team football elsewhere. He's never going to get to Liverpool.
No, he's not going to get it in Liverpool. And why do you think Federico Chiesa is pushing for a move to go back to Italy? Because he wants to be a part of the World Cup. Because he knows that Liverpool he's going to get in about 2 minutes again.
Yeah.
So I don't get the whole, sentimental, thing. If this was someone like a Mo Salah, or someone who's actually been an icon for the past 8-9 years, I'd hear it a lot more. But this is a player that's not played all season. Like, come on, guys. And Sometimes in this season he has been unlucky. With the injury he had at the start of the season, I think that really knocked him back.
Yeah.
In terms of getting game time, obviously, actually getting back to becoming fit again.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting offered 40 million,
Oof.
I'm taking it, man. Like, none of this. Oh, I'm hesitating. Like, I love Harvey Elliott. Yeah, he's one of us. He's a fan like all of us. But
Mhm.
you're getting offered that money, like David Ornstein has said there, want 40 million with a buyback. Like, come on, man. Like, this is a deal where we've got to be accepting, and I do think we'll get the money that is
I don't
that
think
is
like
required.
some of our fan base, bro. I don't think we're serious, man. We're not looking at the bigger picture here. He's been there since he was 16 years old, right? When we bought him from Fulham, he's 23 soon. So he had that. It's not like he didn't have an opportunity to be in the first team. You know what I mean? He has that opportunity. We gave it to him. He just doesn't fit. When I look at Harvey Elliott, I love him. You know what I mean? For his energy and all that stuff. He does great things when he comes off the bench, but when he starts, he struggles. Yeah, but other than that, like he hasn't taken the opportunity that's been given to him to be a regular first team player. So maybe the system is not for him, running up and down and doing the hard work. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not, he's not that's not top his type of game. Maybe elsewhere he could be better at that and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he's going to consider his future because he wants to play first team football. So to me, like we need to get rid of this tag of sentimentality on players and start thinking about Liverpool
Facts.
Football Club more. That's what I think.
Absolute facts, bro. I mean, for me, I've said on you know on occasions he doesn't have, for one, the physicality that is required in our midfield.
No,
He doesn't have I would say, the pace that is required in our
no,
midfield. He doesn't have the height that is required in our midfield.
no.
The long legs that Slot likes in our midfield, that like Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister all have. So if he doesn't even fit how we play football, what's kind of the point of keeping him around? We're kind of
He's
just
not a mascot. He's a footballer, man. You know what
we're,
I mean?
we're, we're kind of just keeping potential money back, and a player that can go and reach his potential somewhere else. He's a good player. He just doesn't suit how we want to play
No.
football, and that's not on Harvey Elliott. That's not his fault. How tall he is or how his
Mhm.
build is, he just doesn't suit how we play. So if this was, like I said, if it was Jurgen Klopp, I'll probably have a different stance on it, because he actually had game time. He actually did well
Yeah,
for Jurgen Klopp. But this is only Slot now. This is only
yeah,
Slot's era now, guys, and that's one thing we need to remember. So I don't know why we shouldn't have trust in Slot if he wants to get rid of Harvey Elliott. I mean, the players come and go. There's going to be more players this summer who I think is going to go, and a lot of people are not going to like. But
yeah.
funny enough, we're going to have to deal with it. And if you're offering me 40 million to go and use that 40 million for a player of Isak's quality, it shouldn't even be a debate.
No debate.
It's, again, literally no debate, as a gal would say. But yeah, people, make sure you're smashing them likes and subscribing, bro. And subscribing to Fozzie's channel as well.
Appreciate that, brother.
Always, bro. So in terms of outgoings on that stance, Harvey Elliott, Darwin Núñez, Chiesa, do you think Liverpool could? Do you think basically there's not enough time to get rid of all the players that we like, because we've still got to do the likes of Simicast, potentially a Robertson, in that department. So you've already got 2 attackers minimum you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Tyler Morton's a name, Simicast or Robertson's a name, Harvey Elliott's a name. Do you think potentially we're doing too much in one window? Because I've seen a lot of people discuss that, so I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions.
The thing is, bro, like I said it in my stream earlier, we've lost so far 3 players, right? Kelleher, Kwanzaa is having a medical right now, isn't in Germany,
Yeah.
and Trent. I think that's the only 3 that I know of that played in the first team. So Mamadashvili's in. Don't forget that. He's already in. Frimpong is in for Trent already. And Kwanzaa. So Guehi, I've just seen David O.C. There's agreed, apparently. You're going to probably announce it later on your show, so it's up to you. So we already got the replacement for those players. So the squad hasn't changed much, if you know what I mean. We've got the three most important players, which is the ones we already discussed earlier. We need a striker. That's another thing as well. So basically, from last season's team, which is 14 players, I suppose we've had, we're going to add quality on top of that as well. So we're not, in order for us to even do more depth, we need to sell players to get, players in as well. So as soon as we finish with a striker and I think a centre back, we're going to concentrate more on the depth of the team. Youngsters that's going to, have a future at Liverpool, which is, going to be in the first team. So I don't think the transfer window, the way we're going into it, is bad. It might look bad because, we're getting probably getting rid of a lot of players, but you're forgetting a lot of players who could be coming the other way as well. So, and Liverpool, how they work, they make you look at one transfer, they go the opposite direction. So, yeah, just I think from last season, bro. I think we learned a lot from last season. You can't go with a small squad if you want to go for Champions League and Premier League. You need a bigger squad than that. So, I don't think they'll make that mistake twice. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, and I think another thing, the players that we are selling, they don't play anyway. So theoretically, we're selling players that don't play, and the fact that is we're using that money to actually improve the squad. Mm-hmm. So effectively, we are killing two birds with one stone.
We've got another goalkeeper in, didn't we, as well? We've got another goalkeeper in. Yeah.
So Manavashvili is now actually officially a Liverpool player now.
Yeah, and there's another goalkeeper we bought, an English one, didn't we?
Yeah, from the 28-year-old. So, yeah, he'll be obviously a third choice backup.
There you go.
And so again, that's just all the little bits of these pieces of business that a lot of people aren't noticing. Like we're now sorted in all the goalkeeper department, so it's fine on that area. I would argue now the defense I'm near enough happy with the news now that Liverpool are presenting that idea to Mark Guehi. He will not sign a new deal. Also, David Isak agreeing that Liverpool have agreed personal terms with the player. So, what's your overall thoughts on Guehi as a player in terms of coming to Liverpool? Because I think this is a really good piece of business.
Very good business. Very good business, in my opinion. He's a leader, obviously. He's a captain for Crystal Palace, and he's the England #1 defender at the moment as well. Don't forget that on top of that. I know you guys don't like England, but I'm just giving you something out there. What I like about him, mate, is his calmness and his composure as a footballer as well. He's quick in his own way at the same time. But that's another thing as well. Like, you get rid of Kwanzaa, it doesn't mean like that's the end. Another thing as well, as soon as you get rid of Kwanzaa, another player comes in. One door opens, another one opens up for another player coming in. So I like the way we're moving in that way. And not only that, we're getting a better player. We're not getting worse a player than Kwanzaa. So I like what I see in Guehi. He will complement Van Dijk and Konate if he stays in the longer term of next season. So when we're in the Champions League, if Van Dijk is injured or Konate is injured, the quality doesn't drop a lot, if you know what I mean. So, and he could play both sides of the centre-back position, on the right and the left. So, yeah, man, listen, this is a serious business we're doing here, guys. And what I said, he's only 24 as well. He's only 24, and he's going to complement the likes of Van Dijk and Konate in defense next season. So the drop off from each defender, if they keep switching around, ain't that much. I'm loving it, bro. I think Guehi. I don't think he's a Van Dijk replacement. Obviously, in the long term, we need something similar to Van Dijk. But what we need right now, this is a big signing, bro.
Absolutely, yeah, massive, absolute signing. And I think for me, this is, you go back to the adaptability of slots. He'll be able to go to a back three if he wants, because he's proven that Guehi can play in a back three, he can play in a back four like he did for England. I think we're all in agreement that Guehi is an upgrade on Jordan Kwanzaa, with his experience and everything that he holds. And we're probably going to be bringing in for the same price that we sold Kwanzaa for. So we've actually sold a player for the same amount, spent the same amount, and got an upgrade. And this is, I go back to the recruitment and Arne Slot, absolute brilliant piece of business. And I think in a year or two time, we're going to be looking back and saying that was a quality piece of business. And people saying that Konate won't get, not Konate, Guehi won't get minutes. He
Yeah.
will, because Liverpool know that Mark Guehi's not going to come to Liverpool if he doesn't get minutes.
Hell no.
This is a player where he'll guarantee all the cup games for starts. We'll be able to actually rotate potentially Canate or bring off Virgil van Dijk with 20, 30 minutes to go. If we have
Virgil's not getting any younger, guys. Let me just put it that way. Virgil's getting older, so he will need as much as rest as possible. You could rest him for the important games and things like that, and play Guehi and Konate, if you know what I mean. So, sorry to interrupt, bro. I think people need to look into things like that. I mean, Virgil is 34. He's not 32. He's not 31. He's not 29. Anything like that. He's 34. So, if you want his career to prolong, you got to rest him as much as possible. That's what you got to do. You can't play every game like you used to anymore. Let me just put it that way. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And that's why I think we're bringing in someone of his caliber, because we can actually rest our two defenders and be like, oh, we can actually have trust in him, because I feel like a lot of our fan base and him personally didn't really have full trust in Joel Kwanzaa to come in and do a job or replace Konate if he was out injured, or Virgil van Dijk. So I think Guehi is an overall signing, and this is a player where many clubs wanted him. This is the player where many clubs wanted him, for a player that's 1 year left on his deal, 24 international, English international. You can't go wrong. For 30, this is we say Liverpool love these 30 to 35 million pound players, and this is another one we're going to look back on over the course of the season where it's like good piece of business, something that a lot of us wouldn't expect as well. So, and I'm happy about that, because we're doing that future planning again. We've done it slowly with Malavashvili, with Alisson. We're now slowly doing it with the defense, and hopefully long term we'll do that with obviously the midfield and the attack as well. So Guehi has an overall player. I'm excited, and people talk about his height and stuff. If you actually go and dive into his aerial duel stats, most of the time where he actually loses aerial duels is on the other end of the pitch, not when he's actually defending. I care about his defending, not when he's attacking, guys. You know, he's a defender, so that's why for me, I'm happy about the signing. And who else can we get better for 30 to 35 million for a player that's 1 year left in his deal? That's better than Mark Guehi. You know, there's no one.
You know what's funny, bro? Like, not funny, but sad in my opinion. If only Klopp and Marco Edwards worked together like this, imagine where we could have been. Imagine that. This is to everybody that's chatting there. Imagine Klopp just listened and just concentrated on the team alone, instead of, like, trying to do it all, and let Marco Edwards and the people around him do the transfer with him, like for him, like, as they're doing right now. Where we could have been in the last 5 to 6 years, we could have been the best team in the world. But unfortunately, sometimes egos get in the way. And I love Klopp to death, but I wish he just concentrated more on the team rather than trying to do the transfers and everything. Let Marco Edwards do their job.
Yeah. Oh man, sad. That actually makes me sad thinking about that. I've always said for some period of time that people blame FSG all the time. I think there was times where Jurgen Klopp didn't actually want to buy players.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, it's proving that he has that.
I don't know about that. I think people look into it too much. Listen, I played football. I've coached players who became footballers. I don't think it's always like that, bro. Like in football, every manager wants to buy the quality players that he can. I think at that stage, he was, like sometimes in life, you're at the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? I think that's what happened to Arne Slot. Right place, right time, right team, everything. And, executives, recruitment team and all that stuff. I think with Klopp, the issue that he had is him and obviously Marco Edwards rowing. That's one of them. Pandemic happened, and players leaving and nothing coming in return. I don't think he wanted to keep players. Think about it this way, man. He like every manager wants to improve, wants to reinvest. You know what I mean? Like do the smooth transition with players and all that stuff. But he wasn't getting that from FSG for years. I can attest for that. I believe that, because they were building stands and furloughs and all this stuff. It was just too many stuff happening at the same time, and it just distracted him. And in regards to keeping players, what you got to look at is in a way of he kept players because he knew if he got rid of them, there was nothing coming in return. You know what I mean, bro? So think about it that way as well, because I think people look into it, Klopp this, Klopp that. but they don't look into it. Maybe the club couldn't buy players at that time, and him getting rid of players would have been a detriment to the squad because nothing was coming in return anyway. You know what I mean? So you'd
Yeah.
rather just keep them.
Yep. Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. So I think Guehi is probably most likely going to be happening, with personal terms already being agreed. Do you think Liverpool will bring in another defender on top of Guehi?
They do need a defender still, man. I mean, because don't forget, he's coming in and he's only replacing the guy that left. But we were still talking about we still needed a defender when we thought Kwanzaa's still going to be there. So we still haven't replaced Matip. So we still need another
Joel
center.
Hasso.
I love Hato, bro. I love Hato. I think Hato is that type of defender that can play, different positions as well. So if you have someone like that in the team, you just be laughing for the rest of his career at Liverpool.
Like I think he's 18, 19. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a player that can play left back, centre back. I believe he can play in midfield as well.
Yeah.
And I think he'll love to learn off Arne Slot, Gravenberch, Virgil van Dijk, Cody Gakpo. All his Dutch mates are over there. And I don't think that would be too expensive neither. And we talk about replacing players. He can kind of be that like long-term better Joe Gomez in some sense of if he can stay fit in the sense of where how Joe Gomez was so versatile, he could play right back, left back, centre back.
Yeah.
Hatter's kind of got those traits and attributes what Joe Gomez has, and for his age and stuff like that, I think it'll be a brilliant piece of business. Because I said before, if we wasn't selling Jurel Kwanzaa and we didn't sell Gomez or anything, we just kept our 4 defenders. For me, we still need to bring in an extra body, in my opinion, because Konate's got a year left, Gomez has got 2 years left. Obviously, Kwanzaa, he's on the deal beforehand. Virgil's got 2 years left, so we'll have to start that future planning at some point. We can't expect Liverpool to bring in 4 defenders all in one summer. Especially we know we know how important our centre back partnerships have been through the teams of Klopp and Slot this season. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we might revisit that Jurel Hatter potential deal. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. I think what also is in the defence is the left back situation is going to be really intriguing to see what happens there, because it kind of looks like Robertson and Atletico Madrid has kind of died down and looks like that's potentially not happening. I'd be happy with potentially keeping Robertson as a backup.
Yeah.
Would you be in the same boat?
It's up to him. It's up to him, innit, if he wants to stay.
Yeah, and obviously I think Tsimikas, will be sold. I think I'm not too worried about that because I just don't see a world where Liverpool keep potentially 3 left backs.
Yeah.
And then also potentially bringing in a player of Hatter who can also play left back. So it would just be an absolute waste of money just on the bench when players like Tsimikas would not even get minutes.
Like, if you're thinking about it that way, like you could wheel and deal this season, innit? Get these players in and out of obviously the team and all that stuff. Build for the future, like you said, like future proof, like building for the future, getting players in and then planning for the future. Then it will be easier for you to get players into transition in that as well. You know what I mean? You could buy like what we used to do in the 70s and 80s. Like we put ourselves in such a great position with players and that, and it would. Each time we buy a player and the player has a resale value, the player leaves and another player comes in, it was a smooth transition. We could do things like that. So, which means you don't have to spend a lot of money because you've already got that player. You bought them already as a youngster to replace the other players that's leaving eventually as well. So, yeah, listen, you could lessen your transfers in the future and all that stuff if you have a plan in place that has a smooth transition when the players are eventually going to be leaving. So, yeah, I like what we're doing, man. I love what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm loving what we're doing as well. What else do you expect in terms of defenders, in terms of transfers? Any shocks that you potentially see? Do you think Gomez or anyone else like that will be sold, or are you happy and content with keeping them?
Well, Gomez said he wants to stay now, isn't it? That's the story that's coming out of Liverpool. Either way with Gomez, I'm fine with it because you're still going to have a player there that's more than capable of replacing all that positions, like in defense, right back, centre back, and obviously left back. And he could play DM. You saw him playing DM for Klopp in his last season as well. So yeah. Listen, if Gomez goes, I'll be happy for him. If he stays, I'll still be happy, bro. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I completely agree. In terms of excitement, in terms
Mhm.
of the whole window, Florian Plettenberg coming out and saying that Liverpool are looking in the transfer market not only for a new striker but also a top class winger, preferably for the left flank. For me, that's indicating, if that is to be true, that
Mhm.
Gakpo or Diaz will be sold.
Yes. It's more Diaz than
And
Gakpo, to be fair.
yeah, would you be happy with, quickly on Luis Diaz? Would you be happy with keeping him? And if not, do you want him sold?
You know,
If
with
we were
Diaz,
to bring in a top class winger,
I had a problem with Diaz a few seasons ago, like not last season, season before. He couldn't get past players, scores goals now and again, couldn't really set up goals. But from what I've seen of him last season, the way he transitioned from a winger to a striker and helped the team win the league like that, I forgave a lot of stuff. Um, yeah, but the thing is, I think it's to do with the wages with him. He's willing to stay at Liverpool. Is what wages we offer for him. You know what I mean? Because he's getting, I think, like 50K a week or something like that. One
yeah,
of the lowest paid, I think they said, for the first teamers. So if we could sort that out,
he's on
I'd rather
55
keep.
grand
I'd
a
rather
week.
keep him. I'd rather keep him.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm in a different boat because
Mm.
I don't know if I have full trust and commitment. Will he produce those numbers again? I don't know if the rumours are a top class winger, provided for the left flank. For me, I'm sorry, but if the rumours of the Al Nassr potentially bidding for him of 100 million euros, I'm taking the money and I'm running all the way to the Santiago Bernabeu for Rodrigo. So for me, if we get offered the money, that I think is too hard to say no. I'm selling him.
Yeah,
I am.
100 million. That's a lot of money for a 28 who's going towards 29. Of course, you're going to take the money for 100 million. I mean, I'm only saying, like, if you want to keep him or whatever it is, I'll keep him. But if we're getting the right money, I'm not going to say no to that. And there's a player at West Ham that's available now. You know what I mean? His name is Kudus. So that's another guy you could get in. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind that. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh yeah,
like I said, I forgave him Diaz for his past performances after what he did last season. If he stays, I haven't got no problem with. If he leaves for that amount of money, I ain't got a problem with that either.
yeah. I mean, for me, if we're to sell him, Who would your realistic players that you'd potentially be like to bring in?
I'm a big Mohamed Kudus fan, bro. But
Yeah,
not on the left, but on the right, to be probably the replacement for Salah in the long term. If you know what I mean, I'll bring him in, and I'll bring in what's his name, the one at Real Madrid. I like him a lot. I know a lot of people don't
Rodrigo.
like him. I think what hampered Rodrigo's career as a footballer in regards to progression is he's a guy who plays similar position to Vinicius Junior. So you know what I mean. This is why his career didn't progress as it should. And he gives me the Mane vibes as well, bro, with his power and pace from the left, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's who I'll go for on the left side, if you ask me anyway. But Leao is a cheaper option. If you look at Leao, who plays for AC Milan, he's big, powerful. He's not consistent, but you never know what he can do in a team like Liverpool, because the pressure will be less for him. And not only that, we've got Redbird down there, obviously part of the Liverpool, FSG, community. They earn a stake at FSG, so we could probably get like a lower price for him come to Liverpool as well. So, yeah, but my preference in the left is Rodrigo from Real Madrid, if he's available. That is. If not, Leao or
For
whoever.
me, it's Anthony Gordon.
Really?
Yeah, I like Anthony Gordon, big game player, a player that I feel like will thrive of playing for the team he likes in Liverpool.
Mm.
And this is a guy that turns up in big games in the top six. I mean, his records and that speaks for himself. I
Yeah.
feel like last season he had a difficult season, and it's not due to his footballing ability,
Yeah.
mainly due to. I remember he got a red card. I think it was against Brighton in the cup,
Yeah.
and ever since then, Eddie Howe's kind of been a bit too harsh on him in the in that department, and obviously Harvey Barnes kind of took his place and he's playing really well.
Yeah,
So
did, yeah.
towards the last couple of months of the season, he didn't really get to showcase his quality because Harvey Barnes would take up the majority of his minutes.
Mm.
And I feel like Gordon is a player that I feel like can go back up another level or two if he was to come to Liverpool, in my opinion. I think Milik Fofana is definitely a name I think we could be looking out for because Lyon relegated. There's not a chance. I don't think he
Financial
stays
issues,
there.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Liao, for me, I feel like Liao's kind of hit his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the overall package, I don't know how much Milan will want. All I know he's got a release clause
Mm-hmm.
and he's on like 200K plus a week.
Yeah.
So for me, the overall package of him, I'd rather spend on a Malik Fofana, who's probably
Mm.
who's younger, more exciting in the sense of
Okay.
that. And Anthony Gordon's obviously a name. But obviously, I know we're not going to get Anthony Gordon and Isak, so it'll have to be one of the two. Rodrigo's 100%. I've said Rodrigo reminds me of Neymar in the sense of he's in the shadows of Mbappe, Vinny
Mm.
Jr. He looks like if he goes to a club, he could be in the main force of the attack for years to come if he was to
Mm-hmm.
come to Liverpool. And I feel like that's why Neymar, one of the reasons why Neymar left. So I always use that kind of somewhat of comparison.
Mm.
So I feel like for me, Rodrigo, Gordon are my top two.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be surprised if Liverpool look at someone like a Semenyo from Bournemouth with the contacts again of Hughes. Um, whether Bournemouth would ask for too much of an asking price because they have lost Kirkes, Hoyson.
Yeah, yeah.
In this window, are they going to want to lose another one of their top players as well? So probably not. So I feel like the left wing market is really interesting. I feel like we potentially could be interested in Nico Williams, but obviously he looks like he's going to be going to Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's another name gone. I'm trying to think like if it is going to happen. I really, I don't know. I don't know because I've got a feeling if you talk about top class winger, then Malik Fofana's not that yet.
No.
Um, so it doesn't lead, but very rarely Liverpool tend to go back for players that they've previously liked. So
Mm.
Gordon, could that reignite interest? I think Liverpool will
Mm.
try and get Rodrigo. That doesn't mean whether it happen or not because
Mm.
they've had interest in him from the Santos days, and it shows when top class, world class players become available for a price and the clubs are willing to sell them, like
Mm.
Florian Wirtz was. Liverpool has shown that they are willing to go to the table. So
Oh yeah.
I think Rodrigo would be a name where Liverpool would be sat at the table willing for him. Whether he goes is just obviously again, it's the main thing. It's just like an Isak situation. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Rodrigo actually wants to stay there. It's whether Real Madrid want to keep him because I feel like Real Madrid wants to probably bring in a striker. In my opinion, I don't know they've kind of spoken about strikers in that department because they want to put Mbappe on the left. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's going to be interesting. I think, look, interesting times to be a Liverpool fan. This is what we want to hear. We want to be Liverpool also looking at top class left wingers as well, not
It's,
just a striker.
you know what it is, bro. It's better knowing what you need than not. You know what I mean? You could be like ended up at Man United buying for the sake of buying. That's how we was back in the day. We were just buying players for the sake of buying them. But now, like, we know what positions that we need players in. We know the improvement that we need in those positions as well. So, yeah. Listen, it's a great time to be a Liverpool fan because we've got a structure in place. We've got a manager there that's knows what he's doing and he could only get better, like you said, you alluded to earlier, which is a brilliant way of thinking about it. And the only way for Liverpool is up. That's the only way. And I can't see it any other way, bro. I think we're just going to dominate in the next couple of seasons, especially with Arne's in the helm as well. And yeah, long may it continue, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, long may continue, and long may continue making content about Liverpool. Like I'm absolutely loving it right now, and hopefully, Liverpool can keep producing. I'm really excited for pre-season. I don't think I've ever been so excited for pre-season. Like my mum's gonna be like saying, "Oh, what are you doing today? I'm watching Liverpool pre-season." It's like pre-season, like you excited for that? I'm like, yeah. I honestly, I cannot wait for it because not only to see players like Wirtz in a Liverpool shirt,
Mm,
but to really tactically see what slot is going to change.
yeah.
Because I do think he's going to take some big approaches this season. especially with the fullback situation, because our Robertson's obviously lost his yards of pace. Trent obviously is not obviously the quickest. So I'm intrigued to see what we're going to use with our tactics with our fullbacks, because they are going to have that pace and power with your throwing prongs and you mean Los Kirkeses. So I think it's going to be really intriguing what is going to happen with the tactics. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely exciting.
100%.
Absolutely exciting. I cannot wait.
Like you just talked about tactics and that stuff. Like, when Jurgen left, everybody was talking about the management. Like, why isn't Arne Slot a manager? This is why. You know what I mean? This is why you win things, because he's a head coach. He doesn't do anything outside the football pitch. It's all about the training ground and the game day. That is it. And when you have full concentration on that, you're dominating. That's how it is. You don't need a manager. Just stick with the head coach. You'll be fine, in my opinion. That's how I like it. A person that just concentrates on the football, not political stuff, just football reasons. And this is what Arne Slot brought us last season. Showed us a head coach can win the Premier League at Liverpool, because all we had is managers before him. We never had a head coach before.
Facts. Absolute facts, mate. Anything more you wanted to talk about when it comes to the Reds in terms of transfers? Anything more that you expect to see that could potentially happen in this window?
It's just the striker and the centre back. I think that's the two we're going to be chasing the most. There's going to be obviously ins and outs in other departments, which is the depth of the squad as well. So that's all I know anyway. I don't think after the two signings, which is the centre back and the striker, there's going to be huge moves. We're just going to concentrate on the season. Pre-season is going to start. Everybody's going to be ready, and then we just look forward to the new season that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, talking on strikers, Fabrizio said that Falcao offside. As of today, there remains a significant gap between Liverpool and Napoli on the valuation of Darwin Núñez.
Napoli's not rich, mate. That's the thing.
We need Saudi to come back. Saudi, come back, man. This was my worry. Liverpool are asking just for too much, or I mean, look, 70 million for a player outside of Europe. A lot of teams are not stupid; they're not going to pay that. So, if Liverpool want to get somewhat of a decent fee for him, they're going to have to lower the increase, or they're going to have to hope someone of Saudi comes back in for him, like an Al Hilal, like that did have a strong interest in Núñez. So, again, hopefully, no disrespect to him, but hopefully the situation will be resolved quickly as possible, because then we can get back on track and get the incomings that we need. Because this, for me, is one of the. If we want to get Alexander Isak, we need to get the outgoings done quick. No messing about. And fair play, Darwin. Thank you very much, but it's time to start off, mate.
Time to go.
It's time to go. Exactly. It is time to go. Mark Guehi on Brandthwaite, I'd like FSU to get in them for slot. I don't know if I believe in the hype in Brandthwaite.
I don't even know why people even talk about that defender. To be fair, he's all right. I mean, he's all right for Everton. That's about it, really. I don't know if you could do outside that. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like the type of defender Liverpool go for anyway. Because the next steps for Liverpool Football Club is replacing Van Dijk in the next 2 years. So Brandthwaite ain't Van Dijk replacement. Let me just put it out if people want to, listen to what I'm saying. We need something that's more dominant, more presence, more leadership, pace, power. Like everything that Van Dijk has in regards to leadership and everything else. That's what we need. We can't go back to these Brentways, like Skirtle types, Phil Babs and all that stuff. Nah, man. Let's move forward, man. Let's go back to what we got right now, because it took us 30 years to get Hansen to Van Dijk. I mean, the last greatest defenders we had before Van Dijk was Hansen. That's in the 80s, early 90s, all the way to Van Dijk. That's a big gap, guys. And we don't want to go back to things like that. I mean, nah, man. We need a similar player to Van Dijk. At least something closer to him.
I would take Lewandowski on loan. Oh God, no.
No,
All right,
he's
Tom.
old, man.
And then Matoma as a backup to Gakpo. Oh God, no, no,
Might as well
no,
just call it a day,
no.
mate.
Yeah, no, no, no. Matoma, man. Oh God. But yeah, bro. Honestly, man, it's exciting. It is
Yeah.
exciting. It and hopefully again, and hopefully I'll chat to you again in a few weeks. And who knows, we might be speaking about a Swedish man actually being our striker,
Oof.
or Guehi being done, or an Osherman, or
It's the
an
dream,
Ekiti.
bro. It's the
So
dream, my guy. It's the dream.
like Uncle Rod has been drilling it into my head
Go
that
on.
it's gonna happen. So he made me
This,
got the
but
dream.
he's right though. The story ain't going away, is it? Each time we thought it disappears, it comes back every time. So think
Yeah,
about it in that way. I mean, the
yeah,
story is not complete yet.
yeah.
That's gonna be cool.
He's got me on board, and that's why I'm believing.
Yeah.
Got to listen to what Uncle's got to say. Do you know what I mean? So we'll
Not
have
with
to wait
Elliot,
in
not,
there.
not with Harvey Elliott, but yeah, other things. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He did speak about Harvey Elliott the other day, saying yeah, you would keep him, and everyone on the panel was saying yeah, I'd keep him. I was like the only one sat there like, have you guys watched Liverpool this season? He hasn't played.
He hasn't played at
He
all.
actually, he actually came out against Brighton and said like, yo, I got to do what's best for my career. I'm at that point
That's
now,
why.
so
That's what I said to me. I don't think they've seen that. I don't think they've seen that, bro. I don't think they've seen that.
I think everyone's just watched too much and buyed too much in the England under 21.
You know what's? Yeah, I think like when you're like talking about the England under 21s and you're comparing it with Premier League, like first team standards, you gotta like give your head a wobble, man. The standards are different, man. Let me just put it that way. And lastly, let me just say this: yeah, it was because you know Arne Slot not playing these players that we won the Premier League. Do you guys know that? Like, if you look at Liverpool winning the Premier League last season, it's because Arne Slot refusing to play these top, the Darwin Nunez's, Harvey, all these guys that's been given chances in the past and not taking it with both hands. That's why we won the league last season. He just trusted his first 11 and then he went and won the league. We gave those players previous seasons game time. Did we win the league? What did we actually do? Nothing. As soon as he steps away from that and gave other players a chance who are better players and have consistency in their game, he stuck with them, and the rest is history after that. We've given those players chances. They've been here for a long time. They just couldn't do it anymore. The coach had to step away from them in order for us to win the league. And there you go. We won the league last season, man.
Exactly, man. No sentimental from my department. It's literally straight up sell and win. It's as simple as that. That's how I. That's my current stance. That's how I'm standing, and that's how I'm gonna stand for the rest of the transfer market. Do you know what I mean, mate?
100%, bro.
But yeah, bro. Anything more? Anything you got coming up in Liverpool content? Just Liverpool in general, things like that.
I should be doing something tomorrow, bro. So just keep an eye on LRFC tomorrow, around probably 2, something like that. I want to go back to doing it on a daily basis, and I've got work obviously for the next 3 days. So then I'll be back on Friday. Hopefully, I'll probably do a late night panel show if you want to jump on with us as well, and just discuss fun things about Liverpool.
Yeah, I think I watched a show the other night with Uncle Rod's. I think it was a double show. He was just chatting all about all different type of things. I kind of enjoy shows like that.
Yeah.
Where you kind of the topic is just naturally flows and it changes into topics that you didn't think you'd be talking about.
Yeah.
They're the type of shows I do like to kind of tune in. So they're just because I feel like everyone right now is just talking about Isak, Darwin, Osherman, and all that.
It's just repetitive.
Very repetitive. Like when I'm a content creator myself, I don't want to go and listen to 5 other people speak about the same thing I just spoke about for like an hour, 2 hours.
Agreeing with each other, Nah, bro. I don't do agreeing,
Like
man.
we all everyone has the same opinion. We all want Isak at the club. Quick, done. I don't need to watch a 2-hour stream to know what someone thinks about Alexander Isak.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can save time and go and watch content that I think is fascinating and interesting. Where 1 minute you could talk about football, and next you could be talking about where you're going on holiday, for example. Do you know what I mean? They're
Exactly.
natural flow, just normal topics. And I kind of want to do more shows on that. But I want to get people on the show and just chat anything but football.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
man.
mean?
That's the way of
Like,
life, man. That's how you prolong shows, in it, as well. If you just talk about different things.
yeah, that's what I mean. So I want to get into those, maybe do like a once a week type of thing where I just get like all different types of personalities on a show each week, mix it up, and that's how you get to know people, and it's actually good. It's actually good for your mind to not do
You've
this.
got the perfect platform, bro. You got the perfect platform for that because your channel is Footy Reacts. It's not like Liverpool or anything like that. So you could bring in, even team like different, fan base from different teams and all that stuff, and talk about their football club and all that, or outside that something else.
Yeah, that's why like next season. I'm gonna do like a couple of match reactions for other clubs. Let's say like Man City we're in a match for Man City. I'm gonna react to those games each week. I want to do like a weekly Premier League prediction show where I get a different guest on each week for the 38 games, and we do like predictions. So let's say I don't know, Liverpool versus Wolves. So I get the correct score, I'll get 3 points, and it'll be me versus all the guests. So all the guests' points will all calculate together versus my points. And then like towards the end of the season, like I have all my guests whoever did that the best. Maybe I could do like some sort of like little giveaway type thing.
Yeah.
I think it like just to mix up the style of content. I think that's really important as content creators to evolve and to improve and do at least something that other content creators aren't doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I've always found that's really important to do so. Do you know what I mean, mates?
100%, 100%. Make it more fun, more, different stuff to relate to other people. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, my friend. You know what I mean? Because if you keep doing the repetitive thing, people lose interest. That's why with my shows, I do different things. I don't do the same transfer every day. I can't. Unless there's breaking news, then I understand. But
Yeah.
I want to like tomorrow. I talked about Guehi and Isak today. Tomorrow, I want to talk about someone else. Maybe someone else. Maybe tactical of the game. Do the tactics, put graphics there, and all that stuff. Just different things. And not only that, when I do it on my own, I want to like have a chat with the chat, see what they're thinking, like what do they want to talk about and things like that. And I enjoy it. I really enjoy it because without the chat, you're not going to really go anywhere because you do need people on the chat to talk to you to prolong the show even further when you're on your own, especially. So yeah, make them feel part of it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I did a 3-hour show, 5 streams back to back on my own. So
there you go.
Yeah, you've got to. I think that's one point in thing. Like if you're a solo streamer, you've kind of got to have that bit about you because otherwise your streams are just going to go dead and the audience will pick up.
Yeah, 100%.
Like on the body language, the way they're coming across.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think those sort of
I've
things.
always said it, mate. Like, I've said it to Uncle Rods and everybody else. Like, what you need to do is do shows on your own consistently and see how you improve. Because if you could do an hour or 2-hour shows on your own, then you should be comfortable enough to do it on a regular basis. If you know what I mean. So, hosting is an easy thing to do when you got like 3 or 4 reviews to be in because the chat prolongs anyway. But if you could do shows on your own, that means that basically what you're doing, innit? Then you ain't gonna have a problem, basically. So sometimes I've noticed it's difficult for people to do the shows on their own. They can't do more than an hour. They just struggle because they don't know what to talk about. But always set yourself up. The subjects, get it ready before the stream, and just keep going.
And like yesterday, I only planned to speak about the Isak news. For about a good half an hour of the show, I was just talking about Liverpool kits towards the end. Like I like those sort of streams where yes, you had targets to speak about in the stream, but then the topic kind of just diverts, and that's
Yeah,
where you kind of build a bit of a personality, and you get that involvement with the chat.
yeah,
I think that's for me, the chat, the subscribers, and people that watch the most important thing about the channel, not the actual
hundred
content.
percent,
For
hundred
me, that
percent,
because they're the ones that actually watch it. So whatever they always listen to their feedback.
hundred
Do you know
percent.
what I mean? If it's
I
actually
look
good.
forward to it because of them. Like I said to you before the stream, it's not all about money for me or anything like that. I don't ask for anything. I just want to like come on my streams and as much as people as like you said, sometimes I had 4 people, maybe one person when I started and all that stuff, but then it build up after that. It's just about the chat and what you guys can get out of each other. You know what I mean? Sometimes people agree with me, some people are in between, some people disagree with me. So, but we always respect each other in that way, and that's what's
Yeah.
important in these shows as well.
I mean, me and 90 and Uncle Ross did a show for about 4 hours. For about the first 2 hours, talk about Liverpool. The last like hour and 2 hours was just talking about boxing and random bits in life. So that's what I feel like. If you can talk about other things than what your channel is actually about, I actually think it says a lot about you,
Yeah, 100%.
because you can actually hold the audience. You can actually keep the people entertained. And I always say like one thing. I always say, do you know, like on StreamYard or Restream, where you can see like the amount of people that are watching. I
Mm.
always have that bit covered up, because I'm not interested if there's 5 or 500.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, for me, I don't. I check my analytics and everything at the end of the month. That's it, because then I can set myself goals for the next month. So I'm not
Yeah.
constantly, checking every day. Oh my god, I didn't get that target. That's gonna make me feel a bit down and all that. I always say check your analytics at the end of the month.
Mm.
Write down a couple of notes where you want to improve, then go and snatch it and go and get it the next month, and then just keep going and going. And that's how I've done my channel for the past couple of months, and I'm going to continue to do that, because if it's working, it's working.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
don't change something if it's working. So
exactly.
I always appreciate coming on the channel, man.
Yeah.
And we'll have to, me, you, Uncle, and everyone will have to do a panel show. I think that would be interesting.
Don't worry,
To
we're gonna start something, bro. We're gonna start something.
see
Uh,
what will come, and obviously the season. We'll have to do couple of bits of content on
100%.
that as well. I mean, it's a good space with the content creators now. I've met some really nice people in the past couple of weeks and months, and
Mm.
hopefully I can continue to do that. Do you know
You
what
know,
I mean?
yeah, you know everything, bro. You know what to do. You know what I mean? All that stuff. You know what I mean? We're always here for you guys. You know what I mean? No matter what. So all you have to do is just message us. If we're available. If I'm available, I'll come on anyway. Like today, I said to you,
Yeah,
I was about to go to sleep, to get ready for work, and then you send me a message. Straight away when I finish, I said, okay, I'll come on. I mean,
yeah,
that's
and I've
how it
like the
is.
fact that you've been on for an hour and a half. I actually appreciate it.
That's fine, bro. That's
Fully
fine.
given
I
back, bro.
enjoy chatting to you anyway. You got good knowledge of football, my friend. So yeah, keep it up, man. And I like the way you set up your shows. It's proper, like well thought of, and you know what it is as well, bro. People look forward to watching it at the same time as well, and that's the way you got to go. I've said it for a while with the Liverpool fans. Like before we was champions, everybody was doing the individual things, like not helping out each other and all this stuff. Now we become champions. I think everybody just woken up like let's take over, innit? Let's take over or support each other, and that's the way it should have been in the first place anyway. Because there's a word at Liverpool Football Club: you never walk alone. That means a lot. So we should be supporting each other no matter what. But now I like what I see from everybody. The new up and coming ones, the people that's done it, for a while as well. We're all supporting each other now, man. I like that.
Yeah, I think exactly, but that's what it should be like anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like for me, like I said, I don't care who comes on my channel. If you have
Mm.
one sub or 1 million subs, numbers don't matter to me. As long as you are polite and you're actually a nice, genuine person, you've got that welcome to come on my show. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's the morals and the respect that you should always have for people. Numbers shouldn't
100%.
matter, because I feel like once it gets into a numbers t-
Hmm.
talk, you can see people for who they really are. Because
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you want people on the channel that gets good numbers,
yeah.
you know what they're doing YouTube for.
With me, bro, I don't know if you see what I do. I get into big channels, I get into middle channels, I get into small channels. I don't really care. I don't look at numbers. Like you just said, as long as the person you can vibe with them, just go on there. Like, what's I heard some people even say, "Oh, how many subscribers have you got?" I got probably 300. I'm not coming on. No, that's what people say on YouTube, believe it or not. But yeah, it's weird when I hear things like that. Just help. Always, if someone requests for you and you got free time, go on there and help them out, man.
Exactly.
It's all about building together at the end of the day, and it shows the kind of human being that you are as well. If you're a good person, or if you're a person that's just after certain things like that's not right, if you know what I mean. So yeah, don't ever judge people, man. Whatever channel that's there, no matter the subscribers, if you've got time, just go and help out, man.
Exactly, bro. Like, I imagine. I think I've seen you on Donny Sam's show before.
Yeah, I've been on Don Sam, I've been on George
So
Mo, I've been a few others, man. But they invite you. If I'm available, I'll go on there. If they don't invite, they don't invite. I don't really, I don't cry about it. I got my own channel to worry about. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
So, it's not the end of
I
the
don't.
world. I
That's
don't go and
another.
hassle people to get me on their channels. I don't do things like that. It's not my thing, man.
That's like another thing. I'm not a fan of people that like. I'm not gonna go into the whole chat about it, but there's a couple of people that where I'm like, all they're bothered about is like redirects, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me, if someone's live and I like
Mhm.
them and help them out, I send the people over. I'm not fussed if people don't redirect to me, because ultimately that makes me more proud because ultimately I'm building my own audience.
Exactly, bro.
I'm not having to have other people to help me build an audience. You know,
Exactly.
I think that's good characteristics that you want in a channel, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
don't beg, man. Just do your
exactly,
own thing, man.
exactly, man, 100%. 1000% about sharing, learning, and evolving. You never walk alone. Always.
Oh
Facts.
yeah, Dan. Big up, Dan, man. Big up, bro.
Big up, big up. Yeah, because I think there's a few people in the chat that was bigging you up as well, bro. So that's good to see. And I've put your link in the title anyway. So anyone that's watching on the replay, on the playback, or
Oh,
whatever,
appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man.
make sure you drop him a subscription. Road to 3K for Fozzie, and I'm on the road to 2K. So let's help everyone out, people.
All together here at the end of the day, man.
Kindness is free. So
Yeah, it's free, man.
do you know what I
So is
mean?
YouTube as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so is YouTube. So I'm not asked if people don't send me memberships or super chats. The only thing I probably ask for people to do is if you like the stream and subscribe, and then we all help each other on that department of free because I'll be delivering you the free content. You'll be helping me with the free likes. Do you know what I mean? That
100%.
that's what I go by. Anyway, mate. So do you know what I mean? Always,
100%.
mate. Always. But I do appreciate you coming on though, bro. And I'm sure we will chat again soon. Do you want to shout out the content you're coming up for this week?
Tomorrow I'm thinking about something like players leaving and all that stuff. Like I'll put players up together, and it's up to obviously the chat if they want them to leave or stay. That's what I do. It's like a me and the chat in it. So leave or stay like that. So I'll put it on the screen, and then we add it up at the end of the show. Like how many people want players certain players to stay, and players to leave. So yeah, you're probably
Yeah,
going
that's
to
a
see
good
some
idea.
shocking players I'm going to put in there that
Yeah,
you don't
I might
expect
have
me.
to tune in for
You know what I
this.
mean? So just check on that, man. I'm going to set up tonight at work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to probably put some players that should not be on the list. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow around 2 o'clock or 2:30, something like that.
Yeah, if you're live, bro, I'll redirect you anyway. So
Appreciate that, bro.
yeah, it's alright, man. Don't worry. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Anytime, bro.
And everyone in the bio, make sure you are subscribing, you are smashing the likes to both channels, and to other people that have been on my panel show before. So like N90, Uncle Rods, I think they've tuned in a couple of times in today's stream. So big up to those. Make sure you're going to drop a subscribe and a like on those streams. Good content creators. And yeah, we'll be collabing more often going in the future, as hopefully Liverpool will deliver the 21st league title back-to-back Premier League champions. The 7th European Cup also is on the road, just like we're also on the road to our targets. But yeah, big up to yourself, mate. Thank you so much for yourself for coming on, and hope you enjoy work, man. If it's not too long for you, get some rest, mate. Especially in this heat. Oh
Appreciate
God,
that, bro.
yeah,
You
the
take care,
heat.
yeah, bro. Take care,
Yeah,
everybody.
you take care of yourself, mate. Always, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Big up to Fozzy, people. Make sure you drop a subscription on his channel, guys. Big up to him. People, make sure you're smashing that like button. You're subscribing to the channel. We're gonna quickly run through a lot of the comments, and then we're gonna wrap up the show there. Big up to N90 in the chat. Big up, man. Apparently we're working on it. TK. Someone said, Romano said so. Yep, we saw. Big up. What did I say? Yes, about Isak. What did you say about Isak? Big up. Appreciate the love, man. Smash the likes and subscribe to Fozzy. Yeah, always. Another record breaking off in the Premier League may be coming this week. In terms of get Mick on. Big up CJ. We're gonna batter every team this season, hopefully, mate. Isak will be another record if he signs 100%. Big up Scottish Bear all the time. Liverpool Goals TV, Man City knocked out by the. Yes, I did see. I need to watch the highlights because I actually fell asleep. Big up Al Halal, smash the likes, or big up Ants. Big up Scouts for the clout we got after pitching the league last season. Unreal. If we go for a player, how do you even turn it down? Yes. What else? I can't even remember anything in between at the ground when Liverpool won the league at home to Spurs and the parade. I think, mate, I was the exact same. What is it understood about hate is real amounts? You convinced Isak is coming true. Who's doing their thing? Money is there. Facts. Really can't see us splashing out 130 million. Isak Bomber next week. I said it, lol. So next week, Isak Bomber, yeah? I'll star that, innit? Just like subscribe. Isak is definitely needs to be a part of it. If it happens, facts. Isak needs to push a move. He does need to. How much can we get for him if he pushes for the move? What Isak? I think 130 to 140. Who knows if Isak will join? But one thing we know is that the club has approached Newcastle. Newcastle's agent is so the possibility if we don't get Isak, we move to our other targets. Our eggs are not in one basket. I agree. Of course, Liverpool will have backups. Osimhen is a loyalty. Newcastle won a trophy and are in the Champions League. He may like new wages he can get maybe from like the project. We're just gonna have to wait and see, guys, on the Isak situation. Newcastle getting rejected by everyone. Yeah, that's why we could potentially help him out. Atizike is not billed for the Prem. He has stats for Nunes. Explain what you mean by that. Fozzy, my brother. Yeah, big up Fozzy, man. Smash the likes to 50. Osimhen to Newcastle. Isak to Liverpool. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. There's plenty of time. We've got the right people at the helm to sort out what it is needed. Facts. Big up Uncle always. Imagining when we get a 9 and it's none of them 3. Yeah. Big up Rods. Scottish Bear. Oh, Daryl, I'm so sorry, mate. If you're still watching in the chat, bro, I'll reply to your Twitter. We have made 5 signings, Percy, Verts, Frimpong, Kickers, and Woodmans. Yep. Smash the likes always. What happens? Yeah, big up Uncle always. Watch us get number 3 and go and get a versatile attack. I said I won't be surprised at that, in my opinion. Oshman contracts expire in 2026. He will move permanently, not on loan. Why is he? Is he got 1 year left? Is he actually? Okay. Now that's interesting. Do I believe him? So, some of the stuff he says can be true. Some of it, can high chance of signing Mbappe than Alvarez. He's got a 1 billion release clause, so I don't think so. Yes, we are in advanced talks with Guehi. I like Slot more than Klopp. Osimhen's attitude. Where's this source from that Isak wants? Liverpool. We brought up. If you rewind the show, we brought it up. Dream on about Alexander Isak, who will play in the black and white next season. I didn't say Isak will be a Liverpool player. I'm just going back off the links, mate. Osimhen is waiting for Liverpool. He wants trophies, not money. We'll have to wait and see. Jumon getting Alange. We're playing in red next season. So some of the Marseille's guys saying, and everyone is quoting him. Yep, we've already brought that up. If he joins, I'll congratulate you, or if he stays, you can do the same. Yeah, fair enough. Isak for 130 to steal. Big up to you, JP, always in the chat. Osimhen Isak, really? Fair enough. What if Isak cost 300 mil? Would you still sign him? Obviously not, but yeah. Elliot plays for England on 21, the first place for full joining the national team. Come on, people, we want trophies. Exactly. Harvey Elliott is in talks with Plymouth Argyle negotiating this week. Only Slots is cooking something. Yep, he is. Big up Slot always. Guehi news. Yeah, we went through the Guehi news. Freddie Woodman was a great prospect at 2. Lost his way a bit, but not a bad one. So I think it was squad. Yeah, as a third choice backup goalkeeper. Why Yaros is out on loan. Good deal for Kwanzaa, 35, 40 for Guehi. I don't think Liverpool will pay 45 for Guehi, if I'm being honest. I think what maximum pays is 40 from what's been offered. 50 people watching. LFC ain't offering Diaz a new contract. Well, yeah, according to the reports, I would rather let him go run down his contract for 2 years, which I find interesting. Yep. Good day. I would take Lewandowski on loan. Oh yeah, we already went through that, don't we? We will sell the Deadwood regardless what happened. It won't affect the deal with ease out. The money's there, bro. Facts. Boxing chat is always good. Of course, we love our boxing here. Big up to you, mates. Would you take Gordon if he leaves? Yes, I've said many times in the show. Anthony Gordon's a player that I would like. Footy, I'm just up for boxing chat I'm up for just a boxing chat for a video idea. Yeah, I'll happily do that. I am going to be vlogging, guys. The Daniel Dubois Alexander Usyk fight. That's coming up in about 3 weeks. Literally, or is it 2 weeks this week? No, yes, 2 weeks this Saturday. So I'm going to be vlogging that. That's going to go up as a vlog. So that should be interesting. Guys, we're on 51 likes. Big up to everyone. It's been a really good stream. This stream for 2 hours today. I appreciate the love. We've also hit past 1,700 subscribers. So if we can push towards 1,800 by next week, that is the goal and target. People are on that road to 2,000. We're not going to stop until we get there. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you smash the likes and you are subscribing to the channel if you are watching on the playback as well. Is anyone live we can redirect to? Let me have a look. Anyone live we can redirect? Appears that no one really is live, so yeah. Yeah, people, make sure you smash that likes. You are subscribing to the channel, people. We are out. We have a video. Probably upload a video later with a couple of shorts as well regarding all the latest Liverpool news. And I think we're going to an N90 show later. Make sure you get him up to 100 subscribers. Big up to everyone. Smash the like, subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care, and I'm out.